Finally, welcome to our live talk, and you're listening to the podcast. Today, we're going to talk with a friend of ours, and this is the third time I'm trying to connect. Yeah, sorry, my internet's not that well. Hello, Miranda, welcome. Hello, our guest today is already here. So, I don't know if we're going to be able to stay long because I'm using my 3G connection. So, good luck for us, right? So, let's go now. Our guest today, and guys, with you, I have the pleasure to introduce to you Bruno
Hello,
Henrique.
Cleydson. Can you hear me?
Hello, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Uh, you're cracking. You're still cracking a little bit. So, hello, can you speak again, please?
Hello, can you
Can
hear
you
me?
hear me? I can. Can you?
Yes, I think I can hear you. I think my phone just disconnected. Fuck it.
Okay, finally. Thank
Sorry.
goodness. Welcome, everybody. So, okay, Bruno, now that you are here, let's try to enjoy the moment. And
Yeah.
who is Bruno Henrique? Where you're from? What you do? So, the mic is all yours.
Okay, Cleydson, thank you a lot for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here because I've been following your job since the match we had last 2 weeks ago. I think 2 weeks ago, yeah. My name is Bruno. I am a teacher too. I teach English and I'm from Pernambuco. I'm living nowadays in São Paulo actually, but my brothers are from there, like Pernambuco, and I've lived there for all my life. And I opened like a business with a friend of mine called Lucas that was your student indeed. And it's been very good. Like it's been a pleasure being teaching English for many students and sharing knowledge and sharing like a lot of approach and culture with these people. In São Paulo, like we teach online, so I can live in Pernambuco, I can live in São Paulo, I can live in Paraíba, I can live in Bahia, I can live wherever I want, whenever I can, and being like this. But I want to return to there because I think things over there, like in Pernambuco, it's much better than here. And thinking about it, like my school, it's open. It's like an open space because you don't have like a physical space, and we can share knowledge for anywhere. So that's it.
Okay, that's very well said. Bruno is partner with Lucas that you heard him last week. So if you're listening to the podcast or watching somewhere else, check the previous episodes which I spoke with Lucas. And Lucas, he used to be my student, and now he is an English teacher too. And he's partner with Bruno on Sem Rodeio. Sorry, Sem Rodeio.
Yeah.
They do a very great job, and you can confirm, right, Bruno? I told Bruno that I was so happy because I care a lot for Lucas. I really love him. He is in my heart, and I am so glad, so happy that he has such a good partner. Because when we are doing business with someone else, it's like a marriage, right? And normally you have to share the stressful part of the marriage, not the good one. Not always hanging out, not always kissing, but you stay in a relationship which can generate a lot of damage. And I'm so glad that you and Lucas are doing such a great job. So, guys, if you don't follow Senha Rodeio, so he'll tell you how to do that. And soon he'll say how you can follow him and how you can also interact with him. And now that we know who you are and what you do, the first question, okay? First, guys, if you want to ask any question, if you want to comment anything, say here in the comment section below. And if you're listening to the record, so for you to be here online and talk live with us, you check the link on the description of wherever you're listening it to. So here we go. First of all, Bruno, how did you learn English?
Okay, that's a deep question, huh? First of all, let me send like kisses to receive because my student asked it, and let me thank people for saying welcome to me. Thank you, guys. Thank you a lot. Okay, so now answer your question, Cleydson. Um, I've been learning English for many years. I don't know when I started in it, but I think it was when I was a child. Because at my family, like in my family, people don't like to study too much. Never did. And I was like out of the curve. I was like the black sheep. And then I always liked to study. And English for me, it always meant an opportunity because I always thought about traveling abroad. And my dream, it always was and still is, but not just that, but to travel to United States, to England, to Australia, to New Zealand, South Africa, like to travel abroad. I want to do that. And English is a universal English is an universal language. And for that, I always want to speak English, to speak like to communicate myself with other people. But I never had like the opportunity to join a course, like to go to a school, English course, and something like that. But I always had some opportunities, like I always had some open doors for me, and I always try to enter it. And when I was like at elementary school, like in the end of that, in Brazil, it's like ensino fundamental, like the end of this houses. Yes, I'm from that
Sorry,
time.
sorry, Bruno. It became silent for me. So now you better get out and I'll put you on again, okay? Sorry for that.
Okay, okay. I was
So you may just leave and I'll call you again. Okay?
okay,
Do you know
okay.
how to do that?
If I know how to do it. Oh,
Yes. Okay, so I think there's an option for you to click on or something. You
mhm.
may touch the screen and see if you make
Okay.
it
All right.
the live. Okay. Okay, guys, it happens. You know that it happens. And that's very interesting that he said that I know what this is like. I know this experience of being anywhere as an online teacher, teaching people on the internet. I have students from everywhere too. I have students from the south of Brazil. I had students from the north of Brazil and even out of Brazil. I actually called him again. I don't know what's happened. I'll come here on WhatsApp to know. Is it all right? There. Let me see. I I don't know why he. Okay, okay, okay. I think there was a button that I didn't click on. It says, Bruno. It says that you are not able to join. Are you on your phone? It is easier on the phone because there are people who don't worry. There are people who tried to do that on the computer and they were not able. He says that he will try again. Okay, thank you, Bruna. Bruna is here telling us to not worry because Claudinha is saying that she will get back soon. Okay, let us see if he can get back. Oh, finally.
All
Can,
right.
okay, sorry for interrupting. Can you can you try to
It
get
was
back?
God saving me of exposing time. You haven't seen
Sorry?
this, but God saved me because I was exposing my age. You understand it?
Oh, maybe that was it. So
Maybe
let's get back.
yes, I think it was it. But anyway, like I was saying to you, like when I was in the end of Ensino Fundamental, elementary school, I had the
Uh-huh.
opportunity to join like one house, to go to one house, and then I've learning like English online, like watching videos, like back in that age, like it was many years ago, if you think about it. But it happened, like it helped me a lot. When I joined like the high school, I had the opportunity to do a course. But indeed, it never helped me so well to get fluent, you understand? Because I always loved English and I always pushed me harder to understand it, to study it. And for me, it was more like a motivation, like a me motivating myself than other people teaching me. And then I had the opportunity to discuss like in a program. It was a project back at that time in Pernambuco called Programa Ganha o Mundo. It was a great opportunity to students like traveling abroad, like the government took some students and then paid the effort for these students to study like in Australia, New Zealand, United States. And I wasn't choose because I had like bad scores in math, always math. Yes, I lost the opportunity to travel, and then I get so much sad about it. But it was not like when something push you behind, like push you for back. No, it wasn't for me. For me, it was a motivate issue to me to keep going. Like, okay, I lost this opportunity, but I'll take another. And then I start like reading. I always like to read, and so I read it a lot. I read a lot, and I always like to watch movies like from the United States, like Marvel, anything like that. To understand like cultures like United States America is like, always like that. But I always like it. And other cultures always was my passion. So when I watched like movies, I kept it like, oh my gosh, it's so great to see this. You understand it? And then for me, it's okay. And when I signed it like at college, I had the opportunity to meet a lot of people, and those people like to talk in English too, but they were kind of shy. You understand? Like Brazilian people are kind of shy because I don't understand. If you speak English, you must speak it, but you don't. And then they didn't like to do it, like to speak, and then something like that. But after that, like I got myself, no, I will do it. I will do it. And then I started speaking a lot, like with other people, like Megli, other people from Facebook, other people from like Copa do Mundo. I had the opportunity to speak with a lot of these people, and this was like the trigger that got me influenced because I understood perfectly and I could communicate myself efficiently. So I think that was like the point, like the inflection point of my life. Understand? Like when I put myself in not to put me back, but to put me from the like from to go on, like not to stop where I was. And that was it. Like I think I could brief a lot, but I think the most important part of that my journey.
It was the switch button, right?
Yes.
So, wow, guys, you've shown a lot of resilience, right? And there is an expression that I don't know if the pronunciation is correct, but it's something like anti-fragile. Because when you have problems, Instead of getting disappointed, you just go away as a new challenge that keeps moving you on, right? So that's a very great story. You have a lot of good examples, right? Because yes, at schools it's difficult to learn here in Brazil, right? Regular school, I didn't learn English in a regular school either. And we were speaking as online teachers, we have other possibilities, right? But you are one person who learned online and with no teacher, right? So there are a lot of people who think that, oh, I think that if I have an online teacher, I will never be able to learn. So what do you have to say about it for them?
Well, I think I had a lot of help for the people, like friends of mine always helped me, and teachers of mine. Like I had a teacher at college that says to me, Bruno, you need to speak English perfectly because you need to write it, you need to read this. For what? For get better opportunities. And that was like great motivation for me because, all right, I'm from like a poor family, a poor relative. Like all my family are not rich, and you know, like when we are not born rich, we need to fight harder. We need to fight like 10, 20, 30, 50,000 times more. And that's very difficult to us. So motivation is always about like opportunities. And I had this. But I think people like it's not usual like you see people like me or people like could learn by himself or by herself or by themselves. It's not usual. It's very uncommon indeed. But I think like most of the people they are like more to understand it, like more to get better results, to get efficiently education if they have like the right methodological way to teach, like if they had a good teacher, if they can identify themselves with the teacher, with the method, with the school. But for me, it wasn't only about this. It was indeed about the structure, like of the method, like keeping reading things and keeping like listening to CDs and DVDs, and that wasn't helpful for me. Like that was my experience, but I know many people that understood like that and get fluent in this way. So for me, it was an inflection point when I decided not to continue it in this kind of thing. So I never had the opportunity to do like big schools in Brazil, like Wizard or CNA or things like I never had, and I always wanted to join it. But when I get this inflection point in my mind, I just thought like, what the hell? Like for what? What's the reason? What's the point of that? Like it doesn't matter. Like I will learn as the same ways as I learned with microlins. That was the school choosing to teach students like at the program Ganho Mundo of Pernambuco government, and for me it wasn't like helpful. So it was very helpful when I decide myself like, okay, I need to get constantly student, like I need to go and purchase myself, like I need to put more effort in me. I can't like offer shies like to give it to you like, okay, Cleydson, you need to learn, you need to teach me, all right, but that was like the inflection point, and I put myself like warning parts, like in danger, but warning part, like cautions, boy, you need to speak it. So when I was at Copa do Mundo, like back in the year, like 2014, I think it was the Copa do Mundo here, like World Cup
Yes,
World.
for people who don't speak Portuguese, it's the World Cup here in Brazil, okay, guys? Because there are people who don't speak Portuguese, and I think it was 2014, right?
14, yes,
Yeah,
yeah. So
14.
a lot of people abroad, like from everywhere of the world, like they were in Brazil, so I had the opportunity to speak with them, and it wasn't so difficult because they don't judge you because of your accent. Like Jesus Christ doesn't matter for them. Like I spoke with them, and they okay, you speak very well, and that was like very exciting for me. Understand? Like oh my gosh, that's very exciting, and I think it was that like for me, like but I don't know if I answered your question. I get lost
Yeah,
in my.
you answered. There's actually just one thing that we can make clear, but before that, some people are speaking here, and PDRN says, "Hello, my friend, next teacher. How are you, Henrique?" And guys, remember, if you speak here and we don't read your, I think there was a bug here. Okay, okay, so we're back. And you said that when you were in college, one teacher told you some tips, some things that made you go ahead, right? But was it an English teacher?
No.
No,
It,
right. That the only point to make it clear. So you didn't have an English teacher who got you and made you speak English, right?
no. It was about it.
Yes. Blanca said that it has a return. So if you can try to. Was it mine or his? Tell us, guys. The return is from mine or his. So
Yeah.
PDRN is saying something in Portuguese that's about the echo. Sara, oh, it's mine. Okay, so I'll try to do that with earphones. Okay, I'll get the earphones and now
Okay.
first I'll just ask him a question. Can you speak to see if I can hear?
Yes. Can you hear me?
It's mute for me now. My sound, right? I'll get the phone. It's mute, so I'll.
Can you hear me, guys? You can hear me?
Okay, guys, I'm back. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, everybody. Now it's perfect.
Okay. Very good.
Wow. So, Bruno,
Maybe
but I
boss
can't
mine?
hear you. Can you? Sorry for that. So, can you get out here and get back again? Okay. I don't know now. So, guys, if it happens again, please let me know. Now I'll call Bruno again. So, guys, do you have any questions to Bruno? Do you have anything to say? If we don't read it at the time, so can you speak now again?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Now,
Okay. Very good. Perfect.
okay. So, Bruno, one more thing. So, while people ask, my mic is off.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you, Bruno. So, no, okay, now I think people are listening to me. So, Bruno, during this journey, what were the hardest struggles for you? What were the biggest challenges for you to learn English? Because um, you and I, we didn't have the money, the as many opportunities, etc. And you know that for us is difficult, right?
Mhm.
Even being males, white people, right? So can you imagine how it is difficult for most Brazilians who are probably they have less money, less opportunities, and more difficulties. You cannot hear Bruno. Bruno cannot speak. We hear echo, etc. This is so silly. Yes, this is
Oh.
Christina. But I hope the echo is gone now, right? So Bruno, uh,
Okay. About the
we
challenges, huh?
know that we have some privileges, right? Even if we don't have the same opportunities, but it is still difficult for us because no one gave us what we have now. And what were the hardest struggles that you had to start to be fluent until the point that you went to the World Cup or even later?
All right. Okay, I had some, and I still have. I cannot say that I'm like completely free of them. But from start, I think I had like the biggest one that was me, only me, like myself. Attitude, it's gratitude. You understand? Because when you take attitude, when you take actions, when you take your position, you get for like you can move on, like you can choose what you want, what you take, and that's an option. When it's about you, that's an option. So for me, it was an option. I wanted to speak English. I wanted to understand English. I want to write, to read, and for me, it was an option. So I had like, I didn't have so much stuff, like I didn't have so much tools to speak English, to do English, but English classes in this case. But I had like the me, like I had to broke myself, and that was like the start point. So I started studying like online, like on YouTube. Like YouTube back that age, it wasn't like this big instrument we know nowadays, but YouTube had like some points. Like we had blogs in 2025, no, in 2005, 2006, 2007. We had blogs, we had that kind of stuff. And when I decided to study, like I want to study English, I choose to study. And then the first struggle was me, like the first challenge was me, changing my mindset. And after that, I had like the part when I have to go to school, when I had to go to school. So I had to go to school. I think the approach was inappropriate for me because I couldn't see my progress. I couldn't see my like okay, my efforts are growing, like growing some efforts or growing some results. I couldn't see that. So I finished the course, like I have the certificate, like a certificate, like they give me some paper because only Cambridge or some international organizations can certificate us of speaking English. And then I have like this paper, like, oh, he knows how to speak English, but I didn't. In 2013, I didn't know how to speak English. And I understood a lot of things. I could read a lot of things. I could write a lot of things, but I couldn't consider myself as fluent. And then after that, like I had like the biggest struggle of my life, the biggest challenge of my life that was technical, like speaking for me, not I speaking, but people speaking for me. So my listening was very, 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 very difficult. Like I couldn't understand anything what native speakers speak. Like if a friend of mine speak with me, I could understand him or I could understand her. But if it was a native, like I couldn't. And that for me was very sad. Like I got blue because I was like, my God, like I like so much English and then I can understand, you understand? And that for me was very difficult. But I I've already decided to start studying, so I broke myself. After that, I had this challenge, like to understand what people say, and then I just had to keep going, like to get effort on it. I put like a lot of video on YouTube, like reading the subtitles and listening to the native speakers. After that, I got some tips like, okay, do you understand? Like people don't speak like I don't like to go to the movies. Like I don't like to go to the movies like very fast and put these things like you know just doing this. I forgot now the name of it. It's not technique, but if you know Cleydson, you can say okay. But the name of this, and this was very difficult for me. But I started training this. Like I get myself like in a road of this. I want to understand what these people say. I want to understand it, and then I keep going. Like okay, I want to understand them. I got Omegli. I got native speakers speaking with me. Like I could get better. So nowadays I understand a lot of what they say. Some things are not because we don't live there. We need to understand we don't live in these countries. We don't know how they communicate themselves efficiently. If I speak here some slang from Recife, some people will not understand because it's not of their routine. And that's normal. That's okay. Nowadays, I understand that. But back that time, I was, my God, I don't know how to speak English. For you to know, guys, I don't understand a lot of apps in English because a lot of they speak a lot of slangs. Myself, I got lost doing this. But when I put like a pop song, I understand clip. That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most people in Brazil, I think the struggles are basically similar or from mine. Like I think like that. All my students have a difficult on reading or writing or listening or speaking. Like they don't have the problems in the wall. Like it's not at all. They have like a biggest problem with one of them. Like me, I had the biggest problem with listening part. When I spoke like clearly, people, "Oh, Bruno, do you speak English?" Yes, I speak English, but okay, how do you speak English? Don't understand. How is it possible? So for me, that was like a big challenge. And my students have this too. So I think it's abroad, Brazil. But we have like a lot of difficulties of teachers. Teachers in Brazil are so much like they are miserable, you understand? Like they don't receive as they deserve because it's a much more. We know the problems of education in Brazil. We know the problem of salaries. We know the problem of things like that. Budget for education like are big, but they don't know how to allocate that. They don't arrange that like in a good way to improve it. And Brazil, it has a principle like from our open mind, like open card, like our constitutional, that was like Brazil, we have opportunities for all, and we don't see it. We don't see it. And English in Brazil was always treated like a technique part and not a strategic part of our society. Like if you watch other countries like Chile and Argentina are better positioned in Brazil. In Brazil are much richer than Brazil is much richer than Argentina or Chile. And why these problems happens here? Because we don't have like effort enough for fix it. And I think we had like a lot of issues, a lot of things to fix. And if you can put here, we need to put in a share, like we need to share a flow. And then, oh, we have this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, a lot of, many of them. It's uncountable indeed. But I think for me, like you put myself in a perspective, for me was basically these two.
And Sarah is saying here, I love listening to stories like yours, Bruno. Very good and very well composed.
Thank
And
you.
you were saying something that is true about the structures of the society here, which is unequal. And it's so funny that we Brazilians are the only ones in Latin America that don't speak Spanish as well, right? So if we Brazilians don't speak Spanish, so what about English? And even Spanish is not being taught anymore in the public education here. So many people speak with us thinking that we speak Spanish, right? And neither as a second language we do
Yes.
that. We are surrounded by Spanish speakers and we can't speak with our neighbors, right? And that's something curious too because most people have the problem of speaking, right? For
Yeah.
most of the population, they start understanding but not being able to speak, right? So in your case, it was the opposite. So you were able to speak but not to understand everything. That
It's
happened to me
funny.
as well. Yeah, I shared some techniques that I used to understand that. So I was that guy that you said that was studying with tapes, and books and trying to practice with someone, but I didn't have computer, internet, smartphone, so I had to handle myself as well. But listening was a very big issue for me too.
Mhm.
So and for many people, they can understand. They say, "Teacher, I can understand everything, even the slangs, but I cannot speak." But guys, if you can understand what people say, you have half of a way already walked because you can just to pay attention to what they say and start to repeat, and then you are saying your own words. Joe is saying he is do not. I don't understand Joe. So now, Bruno, you told us a little bit about the process of how you became an English speaker, and you spoke a little bit about your students, but how did you become a teacher? Why did you start to speak? You told us about the problems with education in Brazil and stuff, and why did you become a teacher?
Okay, very good. Like, I always had like this faceless, and
Oh,
I always liked to
sorry,
teach.
it's silent again. So sorry. I think it was I think it was because of the mystery. It's okay. So guys, if you have questions for Bruno, ask your questions if we don't read it at the time. So I'll get back and try to read it again. But he'll say also how you can find him, etc. Now he's getting back and he's going to tell us a little bit of how he became a teacher and how he embraced so many problems more because he used to have some problems and now he's hugging a lot of people that have this problem. And I don't know if he's facing any problems. Let me try to. Oh, it's okay, Joe. I just didn't understand. I just didn't understand. So I'll say to him, I'm trying to have you on, but that's okay, guys. You know, lives have these problems. So let us see.
All right, very good. Can you hear
Hello,
me?
welcome back. Yes, I can. So
Uh,
let's go ahead.
okay. Like, work from home has these issues. We need to get we need to get used to it. So that's okay. So, how did I become an English teacher? That's the question, right? Right?
Yes, yes. How, why?
Okay. When I was a child, like, as I told you, like, at my in my family, I always was that different. Like, I always like to study and something like that. And what I always was considered as a nerd and something like that. And my aunts and my mother always asking to Bruno, teach your brother. Bruno, teach your sister. Bruno, teach your friends. Bruno, teach them. Because I always like to teach, not English, but math, science, like I hate math, but back that time, that was okay for me. Plus, and anything like this. And then I started studying English in 2005. I don't know, back like I was 10 years old. And what happened? I started training with my cousins, and they were for me like people that I need to practice with, and I teach them like what I knew, and I teaching them. And what happens? I get like it's great, like teaching it's like pleasure, it's delightful, and for me it always was. And I wanted to be like a doctor, I wanted to be like an actor, I want to be many professional, like I want to have like many roles in my life, but I wasn't sure of what I want. Like when I was 13, 14, I was kind of lost. And then I teach them. Like I always teach them. And friends of mine, like I want to speak English. I didn't know how to speak English. How could I speak English? How could I teach English? But yes, I teach you. Of course I do it. And then I started teaching them. And after that, when I was like at the course, because I had the opportunity to join the programa, Ganho Mundo, I like had the opportunity to get along with a lot of friends at my school. And then we start speaking, we start studying, and I always had like I had facility, like I have like it's easy for me teaching. You understand? Like I like to teach it. And for me it's kind of pleasure. I do it like at my leisure time. My leisure time I always enjoy doing this. And I had like also I always had like leadership. Like for me it's like a strong it's not a weakness, it's the opposite of that. I think it's strong with like
Strength, strength.
strength, yeah, the strength. That is a strength of mine until now, like leadership. And that, like, people always, Bruno knows. So send him. Bruno knows that. So ask him. And then I always had, like, this opportunity. And teaching was like a hobby, you understand, for me. But at college, I had the opportunity to join, like, entrepreneur enterprise, like, I forgot now the name English, but in Portuguese
Until-
it is. It's not about entrepreneur. It's about empresa júnior. It's like
Okay,
inside this like entrepreneur movement, but it's not about that. You understand? I don't. We didn't receive money doing this. We just received knowledge. And I had to teach a lot of them. I had to teach a lot of what I knew for them, but not English. And I had the opportunity to teach English like in 2019 because I had to live with my friends and then I need like extra money to living and I teach for living for like at least a part. And then I knew like, okay, I'm able to teach. And since I had like this background like of teaching, and I always teach it like for my friends, like they paid me, but it wasn't like a profession. I understand that was more like a hobby, and they paid me for help me. Oh, Bruno, buy a book. Oh, Bruno, buy your lunch. Oh, Bruno, something like that. And then when I had like the opportunity to get into how's the name of the app is Get Ninja. I don't know if you know it. Get
Get
Ninja.
Ninja.
I get all on it, and then I start teaching a lot. And then I had the opportunity to teach a lot of students abroad in Recife, just in Recife. And after
Mhm.
that, I had to return to my house because things didn't go well with my friends. And then I returned to my house, and I keep doing this, like I keep teaching. And after that, I had the opportunity to work with other things, like I had to work with condominiums and I didn't like doing that. So I like to teach. English is fascinating. I think I have like facility to do it. And then we had the idea of open a English class, but not physically because we had pandemic. Indeed, like 2020 pandemic was and then like hard to live. And then we had the idea. We had like the motivate issues and then we go me and Lucas now we are a partnership and then we start the project and like it things are good very well. So for us they like teaching is not more only for me. Lucas teaches like most of the whole life of him, but for me his whole life, but for me it's very fascinating thing in my life now. Like it's a pull over in my career. Like it's like a spiral, because I always want to be other things, and I teach it since I was a child, and now I am a teacher. So it's a spiral. So spin around, and then here I am. So that
You
was
always
basically the
thought, you always thought, even before you become a teacher, right?
yes.
And that's something curious because you see that the best teachers were already teachers before they were professionals, right?
Thank you.
So that's very good from you. So we don't want to abuse the internet signal, and I believe it is even with the problems, it is working pretty well. So what do you say? What do you tell for people who is now trying to speak English, if they're listening to it? Some will not be from Brazil, some are able to understand us, many will not understand everything, but they are in the journey for
Mhm.
the learning, right? For they are on their way to the fluency. So what would you tell these people.
All right. So, like, stopping pushing yourself so harder because you need to understand that you are learning. Like, people are afraid of speaking. So, oh, if I speak it wrong, I will be judged. Like, don't mind it. You don't need to care about it. It's not to mind, it's to care even. Don't care about it. Like, stop listening to people like, oh, you are doing right or you're doing wrong. Like, keep going, keep it teach, keep it, just keep it in your way, like in your path, modulate your path. So, search people around, search people to help you. Don't be like alone. Don't. I don't have anybody to learn English with. Yes, we have a lot of people around the world. Like on Facebook, we have a lot of communities to people that change challenges. Including me. I am there too. Like I talk with people abroad like that because I don't need to pay anything. I don't need to expend any money. I go there and I speak with them because I'm trying to modulate some issues. Like I want you to understand some slangs, and that is good. So you that are learning English now, you need to search people that help you. Understand, like to give you tips, and not only like native speakers. You could find like a ninja guy, a ninja woman. Like find people that help you. Only that. Stop thinking about nationality. Think about this person can help me. Yes, she can help me or he can help me, and find him. And after that, keeping practice. You need to practice. I teach English and I don't recommend like people that are starting studying with grammar. Like don't think about grammar. Think about okay, when I was a child, did I learn grammar? Like when I was a child, I learned grammar. No, I just spoke. My mother asked me, "Do you want water?" Yes, I want water. Just that. Don't think about, oh, I is a pronoun. This is a verb. Like, what's that for? Like, I don't think about it grammar when I speak in Portuguese. So why would I think about grammar when I speak English? So that my advisor like don't think about grammar from the beginning. So if you have like a approach like oh I need to do a test, oh, go for it if you need to, so go ahead. But if you want to speak English, if you want to understand what people say, so don't think about grammar from the beginning. Search people around to help you. Keep practice. Don't be shy. Don't judge yourself, especially that. Don't be like the block. Don't block yourself up. Eh, Put yourself on, like pull over. Go ahead. Don't be in a spot. You don't need to do it. So I could like give you many of tips, many of things, but for that, for me, like these three are the most important.
And we Brazilians are so good at speaking, and we just don't do that. People expect that Brazilians will be extrovert, that Brazilians will speak a lot, and we Brazilians just don't speak English even when we have the opportunity. So
Yes.
then when we have the opportunity, we keep silent. So we need to look for opportunities, right? For speaking, he told a lot of alternatives that we have. And I would say that, yes, grammar is important, but it's not grammar that will make you actually speak. No, the grammar helps you to understand how it works. But at school, all of us should be supposed to learn grammar. So that didn't help us to really speak, right? And in Portuguese, after we learned how to speak Portuguese, so we could understand grammar, right? So I think that balance is all makes all the difference when we're doing all of that. And Bruno, can you speak a little bit more about Sem Rodeios, how it works, and how people can find Sem Rodeios and how they can go to you, contact you, follow you? So that's all yours.
Okay, thank you for the space. You can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. It's Sem Arrudeio Oficial. I think it's better, Cleydson, if you put like you write. If you write
Mm-hmm.
because San Jose perhaps is not a common language for other people who are here, but it's San Jose official, just like that. And over there, we part like our start points like we want to teach English as we learn it our native language. Like how did you learn Portuguese? How did you learn Spanish? Like just like that. With our just like as our parents did or ours like our tutelar did, like aunt, uncle, whatever who raised it up us. So we need to understand like that. So we need to understand first. It's very important to listen and to repeat and to speak first. You learn grammar because after that you are able to understand grammar. So it's not like I don't exclude grammar from their lives. Like I just put grammar just a little late. Like we're not teach now, we teach late. And that's very important because we create a safe space over there of not judgment. Because if you don't understand like technique, you cannot judge. So if you have 10 students over there, like they don't know what a verb is, they cannot judge verb. So if you say, she like, people will not say he likes dumb. They will not say that because they don't know. So we will modulate them like we keep in our method, in our method. So like we modulate them with example. So we do not put them in a danger place and saying like, oh, you are doing wrong. We never say that. We never correct the point. We never say like you are wrong on it. No, it's like that. If you have like a sentence, we have like some steps, and I say to you, um, Fulaninho, please repeat this. I want to go to the bathroom. And the student say, I want to go to bathroom. Okay, listen again. I want to go to the bathroom. Ah, I want to go to the bathroom. Yes, that's right. Perfect. So we do not say like we don't need to go to the bathroom because it makes a space, a toxic space. For instance, people keep afraid of speaking. So we don't want that space. So at San Jose, we try to create this safe space of a sharing, of speaking. It's 100% of conversation. Of conversation. We try to not speak with them in Portuguese because most of our students are from Brazil, and we try to not speak Portuguese like that. So see if that it's true. We want to them understand English as this. You see this? So I think it's like that. At San Jose, we try to teach like that. And after that, like you will speak English fluently, like you will be speaking English perfectly. You're gonna understand a lot of things. Okay, now come closer. I want to see you. This a whole book of rules and people. Oh my God, like in Portuguese. If you asked me, Clayton, now, how do I use crase? I will say you. Wait a minute. I will search on Google. I will find the rule. Okay, I think it's like that, but I know how to use it. At my daily, I know how to use it. Okay, how do I do? I learned at like school, but I internalize the knowledge. So I think it's better like when you internalize the logic, when you understand, like as you said, you understand how the language works. It's perfect and it's very important because you're gonna achieve all your goals. If you want to study like in English, you can go because you understand English. You will write English perfectly. You will speak English perfect. So you can go there. Oh, I just want to travel. Okay, you don't need to study grammar. If you want to travel, why do you want to study grammar with us? So you have some points here. You can only just how to speak and how to understand, and then you go. Oh, I want you to make like top tasks. Okay, so you need to understand all of the course because I will train you from the starting to the end. So you need to be patient. Patient is primordial. People, oh, that was something I forgot to say, like at my advisor. You cannot be immediately because that screw you up. You put yourself like in a space you can go like you can help yourself with that because if you want things now it will not happen now. You need to wait. Things happens at the time things happens. So we need to wait. Like we cannot go so sweat cannot ultrapassate like that. It's our barrier. We cannot go through it. So things like that. So I think I get an overview of San Day, and I appreciate you, Cleydson, for giving the space for doing this.
Of course, it's important to have a space of encouragement for people to make mistakes because we don't want to make mistakes, right? People want us to tell us when they're wrong, but we need a space to make our own mistakes. Learning is
Hmm.
a process. As you said, many people, no, how can I learn? I need to learn now. Everybody needs to learn now. No one wants to learn in 10 years. No, guys, everybody wants to know yesterday.
Yeah.
So when we start, we have to be patient with ourselves and we need to be able to make our own mistakes. Many students, when they're reading something or when they start to say, they say, Cleydson, please correct me when I'm wrong. I say, first you finish speaking, first you finish reading, and then we start to analyze what you've said. Because I am making mistakes as I'm speaking now. So both of us are speaking English, and we made many mistakes while we were speaking, but we were speaking 100% in English. Some words in Portuguese by context, but well, we understood ourselves very well, and there were
Yes.
people out of Brazil, even
Yes.
one person from Serbia who were here, and everybody understood. And in Portuguese, we we are not Machado de Assis or Pasquale Cipronet. No, we have our way to speak, and the important in the beginning, especially, is that you can understand people and be understood, and then you start to
Hmm.
polish your English, and now it can go ahead with you and go through an evolution. So, Bruno, thank you so much for staying here. I'm sorry for all the problems,
No
the
worries.
crack, the calls, etc., the internet things. I am so glad to have you here. I wish that was your first time here, and people will listen to this podcast. There are people who follow us on the YouTube channel, etc. So I hope to have you here more times, maybe to speak about other experiences that you had. And I thank you very much for staying here, and I wish you all the success for you, Lucas, and Sem Rodeios.
I have the opportunity to stay here, so I have the opportunity to say thank to you for this project and to say how glad I am to be here, like sharing this, not only about me, but about like people surround us, because a lot of people trust us to teach English, understand, and I want to say thank you a lot for open this space to sharing knowledge, you understand, like sharing who you are, who you were, like where you come from. That's very important, and your project is very important, so keep doing, please. And I wish you the best too, so thank you a lot too.
Thank you so much. Bruno is saying, thank you so much, guys, for this live. It's helped me. Thank you, Bruno, for staying here still because we cannot see who are still here. Actually, we can, but not in the first moment. I'm happy because Bruno is here from the beginning to the end. Bruno is being very dedicated. And Bruno, of course, you are doing way better than us. So thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, and we see each other at our next live talk. Thank you, Bruno. Bye bye. Bye bye, guys. Bye bye, Bruno.
Thank you, Cleydson. Bye bye, guys. Thank you a lot for joining us and to keep it until now with us. So thank you a lot. Wish you the best.
Okay, guys, and if you want to follow Bruno, San Jose, etc., if you're listening somewhere else, go to the link on the description, okay? And follow us, follow Bruno, everybody, follow Bruna, and I see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye, guys.